ball movement's got to be much faster.
Came over to Jaime. Slide in there, brought down nicely by Masayama. Booted away by Jaime. Flag is up here. Jaime actually a right back by trade. The Alba is idle growing up though, and ultimately actually had to debut at left back. That's where he's playing right now. Alba is idle growing up though, and ultimately actually had to debut at left back over there. That's where he's playing right now at present. Alba is idle growing up though, and ultimately actually had to debut at left back over there. International friendly. That's where he's playing right now at Kobe, Japan. Alba is idle growing up though, and ultimately actually had to debut at left back over there. International friendly. That's where he's playing right now eligible for this year. So Kobe getting his 15th in the J1 League, top division. Japan, but with more time to go to the main.
See that movement, Frankie de Jong in the back right there, 1-2 as well. There he is on the ball constantly. Two passes I mentioned, and against Chelsea, I don't think he's missed one pass, and got the ball already 2 or 3 times, and certainly showing in the right spots, wanting to dictate the tempo of the game. Hope I'm not the only one getting also excited about Frankie de Jong, one of my favorite players. We'll see how he develops here at Barcelona, but heard from many that maybe he's not ready, maybe this, maybe that. Throw him out there. For me, one of the players that should get plenty of time, and I am pretty sure that he'll earn it.
42 for 42 passing against Chelsea. That's cut out there. Jaime joined the Barcelona Academy at the under-7s. Ball was trying to combine there.
James out there with Umtiti, center of defense, as well as Frankie de Jong wanting it. Head on the swivel as always. No panic, look at that. Nice and easy. That's what, 3 for 3, 4 for 4. Just keep an eye on him, and maybe if you want to have a little bit of fun, look how many passes he's missing. I promise you won't be many.
Count on one hand kind of stuff?
Not even, no chance he misses 5 passes in 45 minutes. No chance. Here's Carlos Alenia as well. Look at it, just a little bit closer together, that combination play. Look at that one touch once again. I'll put that on Alenia. I'm not taking that pass away from Frankie de Jong.
For Barcelona, we thought there would be big changes. There have been. Neto moves into goal as Ter Stegen comes out. And it is literally a new 11 on the field at the break for Ernesto Valverde.
Monchu getting a run out as well. I don't think we saw Monchu against Chelsea as well. So just about everybody has. And you look at, everybody, some for stays, but a lot of changes, of course. That has to be in mind, of course, the league games, which are very much a priority for Vissel Kobe, who are struggling mightily in the J-League right now in the 15th place.
And truthfully, it's disappointing because Iniesta and Villa were probably the most insightful combination between the two teams in the first half. I mean, there were moments where you thought, what year is this, right?
Well, they were on the same page. They combined 3 times because that's what Barcelona allowed them, because, of course, they had so much possession. You should take a look at Vissel Kobe once again. But it was wonderful, of course, tremendous understanding.
Well, the public address announcer gets the job we all didn't want, reading every change made in this game.
So Malcolm right there with the wrong passing behind, and you can see that Ousmane Dembele won that ball on the inside of the defender. He's got to split the two.
Expectations are real high this year for Dembele.
Well, I think they've always been. He has been inconsistent. He hasn't been mature just yet. If you remember the transfer, how it happened in Dortmund, kind of left him, and obviously wanted already to leave in his first year with Barcelona because he didn't get enough time. So he has high expectations, but he does have to understand that some pretty good players on that Barca team. But I think he's going to get a run in this season for sure. He keeps his head down and just worries about playing football. He's got the abilities, no doubt about that.
Swept back. Berto got it forward. It's over to Perez. Luis Perez. Alanya. Pushed ahead by De Jong. All right, that's one.
That's one. No look, though. Did you see that?
He's perfect when his eyes are on the target. Maybe a chance to break through here. Dembele. Well, something extra.
Yeah, you got to keep your composure there. Frustrated because I think he was happy initially with that cutback, the way he got rid of a couple of players. Put it on his right foot, and I think ran out of ideas after that.
This is a Vissel Kobe side that came under new, far more ambitious ownership over this last decade since getting promoted back into the J1 League. Their goal is to be the #1 team in Asia moving forward. That's a long way away. Start by winning your league, right? But they are putting a lot of effort into growing those youth elements and seeing some of the big names they're trying to draw over. The fan base has certainly shown out for it.
I just think the idea is always to have the right mix of players. And as much as we enjoyed David Villa and Iniesta, and you look at Samper, and now they got Thomas Vermaelen. Begs the question, right, in terms of Thomas Vermaelen. His injuries and record, of course, hasn't been the best. So as much as we like them, so far, if we're honest, we have to say that the mix isn't there.
Well, they've scored 30 goals. The problem is they're second to last in goals conceded in the league, which oftentimes comes when you've got a fair number of players over the age of 35.
Well, I understand the partnership with Barcelona, but you're almost hoping that it's not just players from Barcelona that are going to end up with Vissel Kobe, especially if the results continue. If you look at the last few seasons for Vissel Kobe, it hasn't been great. We've mentioned already how difficult this season has been for them. David Diaz doing his job. Iniesta from time to time, I think, because Podolski has been disappointing, but he's been injured or ill, if you will.
De Jong got it forward. Dembele for De Jong here. Tried to backheel it through. The only time he misses passes is when he's trying to do the spectacular. And now a foul at the edge of the penalty area.
Trying to thread the needle right there. A little bit too tight in front of the goal, as you see it here. That's positive as Ousmane Dembele comes on the left-hand side. Look at that one. Feeds him there. I mean, that's just difficult. It's one of those that you're best off if you're Frankie de Jong to keep possession there. Show composure, show patience in that one. But went for the spectacular and didn't work. This one's on me.
De Jong signed officially July the 1st from Ajax. One of a handful of significant players making their way in. We saw Griezmann in the first half. Oftentimes is not playing probably positionally where he wanted to be. Truthfully, in about 2 weeks, the world's going to change talent-wise compared to what Barcelona brought to the table today. Lobbed upfield. What's doing there for Tanaka?
And truthfully, that's the only time you can evaluate the one or two players that make work themselves into this squad or starting 11. For Frankie de Jong, of course, when you see the likes of Messi in there and Suarez, that's going to be the time to have a look at him.
Ball for Dembele. Dembele just does bounce that inches wide of the post.
Yeah, it's been good as he settles that ball once again coming inside. Always looking for the far post. My goodness, didn't miss it by much, did he?
Look at deflection on the way. It is a corner. Perez. Easy for Makawa.
Look, the success of Barcelona is going to depend on how brave Valverde is going to be, right? Is he going to fall to obviously the big names, or is he going to allow the Dembelas, maybe Malcolm, if he's there?
Ball slipped ahead. Tanaka slips down, took some of the turf with him. But also, I think, not just the personnel, but tactically, right? I mean, how much are you willing to move out of that 4-4-2 that we saw today that looked a little static at times?
Yeah, I think, at times he's going to be forced to do it as well. I think you're going to see variation. You may see a little bit of a diamond. And again, decision you have Frankie de Jong. Is he going to go away from Sergio Busquets? I doubt it. Should he? I think from time to time as well, right? I mean, if you look at Frankie de Jong, he loves sitting deep, just like Busquets in front of back four. But he can also play ahead of Busquets in those positions. Arthur is one. Why not have Frankie de Jong as well instead of, say, Rakitic, of course? Is he going to be brave enough to do it? I think he should be.
Played ahead here. Chance! 5-hole. Easy for Perez. He's got his first team goal for Barcelona. And the 21-year-old breaks the deadlock in the 59th.
Carlos Perez starts this move right there. Good understanding from Malcolm. Look at this. He wants the ball, and he gets it. And he almost forces Malcolm to play that ball. So a wonderful play from Perez. I thought he looked decent for about 15-20 minutes against Chelsea here. Has had some freedom as well. This is just movement with and without the ball. Right there, he's saying to Malcolm, I want it, and I want it now. He gets it. Good finish between the legs of the goalkeepers right there. So that sort of movement that we're used to from Barcelona, that, let's be honest, we haven't seen in the first 45 minutes.
And Barcelona jumps in front here. You could argue that Barcelona could do exactly what they did last year and still potentially run away with La Liga. Right? So success for them is different than success for nearly any other club in the world.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's easy to say before the season that they will win 90% of the games or even more. But the idea is, of course, that they've got to make things right in Europe. That's something, I'm not going to say it's priority, but it should be, right? Leo Messi has been on record. It's been a while since Barcelona has gotten that. It probably hasn't got unnoticed that Real Madrid won three Champions League on the trot as well. So they're going to be challenged once again by Real Madrid. And as we see, Cholo Simeone doing a great job in the preseason with Atleti. Sevilla, Valencia are going to be there or thereabouts. They have strength in as well. But in Europe, the two collapses that we've seen against Roma in Champions League and Liverpool last season are inexcusable. And that's something that they've got to get it right. In order to do that, I think you got to integrate one or two of the younger players that are hungry, players that are going to change things. Yes, Suarez is going to get you a goal or two, but he can't play every game, right? But he wants to play. You know his personality. He's going to challenge Valverde. I want to be there all the time. Messi loves playing with him. Messi's going to probably pressure that. But I think that Valverde got to be his own man. He's got to change things around a little bit for the good of Barcelona in the future.
For the same reason why we said eventually you have to turn the page from Iniesta and Villa. It's not a bad thing. It's just human nature.
Well, and before that, Xavi, of course. I
Sure.
mean, you lose three players like this, it's a big ask. Remember 99 and it was 99, 2000, and when they won everything there was to be won. 6 trophies that were available for them in La Liga, the Super Cups, the Club World Cup and all that. It was absolutely outstanding. Those are big heights. I'm not saying that they have to get back to that, but I do think they have to make a significant progress in the Champions League.
On to here by Roberto. They have some amazing renovations to the stadium that they're working on, a new concourse and the roof, and I mean they're trying to take some steps here. They grabbed Ajax academy director to help run their academy now.
Frank Rijkaard
just
came back, of course.
This week.
Yeah. Been a manager here, of course, was with Cameroon and Cup of Nations as an assistant manager to Clarence Seedorf.
I think he coached Curaçao as well previously. Yeah. So Alenia.
Not sure why he's apologizing there. Yes, there was a run on that right-hand side being made, but he had plenty of time to line this strike up. No pressure whatsoever. Just couldn't get it from under his feet maybe as cleanly as he would have liked.
Last year he was wearing 21. No one told him that he was changing numbers. Perhaps it was just an unwritten rule that when you sign a guy for 75 million euros, he's going to get the number he came with.
Well, when you're a young player, you're usually told that, but Frankie de Jong is very, very young. You know, when a big player comes in the club, say Suarez came in, no questions asked, you just give it to him. But usually there's a bit of a conversation there, and I'm sure he was asked. Frankie de Jong probably wanted that number, and he was nice enough to give it to him. Or, as you said, maybe he was told. But,
he said in the presser this week, he said, the least they could have done was drop me a message. Showed up, now he was number 19. But the picture he took when they made the announcement, he smiled, so it's not all bad. I think if he's wearing that 19 shirt in La Liga games with any consistency, I don't think he'll really care.
I don't think he'll mind. You know, when you're at Barcelona, I mean, you're happy to have any number, I suppose. And to Carlos Alenia, I don't think I'm going to complain too much. For as long as he finds himself in the squad and with some minutes, he'll be happy enough.
Driven ball, snapped away. Picked up by Roberto. Be a chance to get up here. Masayama. Deflected ball came back. Hammered off target.
As you see in the end, Yasui is going to have a strike from distance. Yasui, usually the players that plays alongside Yamaguchi in those two holding positions. We saw Yamaguchi in the first half. Yasui now coming in that central spot in the second half as well.
The race for this by Perez. He's got the goal back in the 59th minute. Debuted in La Liga in May when the title had already been sealed up. Ultimately, Barcelona finished at 11 points clear of Atletico, 19 points clear Real Madrid. Another day in the life. Jaime. A group that says we're obligated as a club to go out and try and win this, and it's not a trophy of tremendous long-term prestige. They'd certainly be happy to put it on the plane. It's Barcelona beginning this preseason with their eyes on pretty significant trophies. They haven't won the Champions League since 2015. You mentioned the results against Liverpool. I mean, dead to rights Liverpool after the first leg, right? And ultimately one of the great comebacks we've ever seen. But even in that game, you watch back and you go, there were a couple chances where they could have ended that thing before Liverpool even got going, and they just let it get away.
Well, of course. I mean, it's not even a question of how they lost, but when they lost. I think that, if you look at the 2015 now, that's a big drop for Barcelona. Not necessarily not even winning it, but not being in a position to win it, right? I mean, not being in the final. I mean, Atleti's been in the final a couple of times, so I think that's where the failure is, and maybe taking things for granted, maybe being pragmatic, as many will point out to, because for me, the more troublesome one was the one against Roma. Right? It was a 4-1 at home and 3-0 away. You lose in a game like this where you see Barcelona almost playing scared, and that's not something that we've ever seen. Now, Liverpool, you know what can happen at Anfield, right? I mean, I'm not excusing that, because there's still no excuse when you beat Liverpool at home 3-0, but that 4-0, the way they were switching off, remember that corner kick, everybody turning their backs, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, of course, pulling that off and just playing it quickly. It's just absolutely incredible. So if you look at the psyche, the mentality, I mean, when you're Barcelona and you have 4-1 and 3-0 in the first leg, done and dusted. I mean, it should be impossible. I don't care who you put out there. Right. Maybe, the best teams, whatever you think the best teams in the world, that shouldn't happen. So that's going to be a question that's going to, I think, follow Ernesto Valverde. Many are still surprised. And perhaps his relationship with Messi is the only reason that he's here.
Well, excellent touch around. Ultimately, it did break down. Landing down Umtiti. Slow that run from Kobe.
Yeah, Hashimoto's been good in the second half. There's a big difference for vissel Kobe, as we're talking about Barcelona all the time. I think they're throwing numbers forward a little bit. I suppose I understand the fact that they are behind, but when you look at Iniesta and David Villa in the first half, it was very much on the counter, right? I mean, vissel Kobe haven't been throwing numbers forward. Right now, you see them attack with 3, 4, 5, a little bit more brave. I'm not sure if it's the result necessarily, but maybe just the directives they got at halftime from their manager. Look at this, more of a possessional attack from vissel Kobe.
Yeah, Sui.
And to be fair to Valverde, when you look at this tour, not having the likes of Messi, Suarez, Arturo Vidal, Artur, forces him to look at different things, right? Against Chelsea, you saw Rafinha leading the line. Obviously, that's not something that he's expected to do. Right now, you look at Malcolm, who usually plays wide, kind of leading the line as well, because, when you look, there are just not that many options in terms of going forward. So, in a way, if you're Valverde, a manager, you welcome that. It's by default, but you get a look at a couple of players to see if they can handle it in case you need it. Malcolm's looks all right.
Yeah.
Decent assist. He's been moving. He's been mobile. He's been unhappy up until this point. I just wonder if you look at, we've talked about Ousmane Dembele and now Malcolm. It could be a breakout season for them.
Could be.
Well, why not? I mean,
if the right guy puts him in, right?
Listen, I mean, they're in Barcelona. I mean, there was something that Barcelona loved about him, and I can understand what that was. Just because they didn't transition all that well, or maybe weren't allowed to transition all that well last season, doesn't mean that they're not going to break out.
There are rumors galore right now about Malcolm. It seems like half the teams in the Premier League are chasing. Dortmund as well is rumored.
And those four, of course, I continue to forget about Philippe Coutinho. He's not available as well. Right. He's in the thick of the rumors as well. If there's any truth to Neymar, and I do believe that Barcelona want him, but in order to pull that off, they will have to offload 1 or 2 or 3 players.
De Jong. It's tough to call Neymar an extravagance, given how impressive he's been, but you look at the grand scheme of Barcelona's attack right now, and it's like a superstar cherry on top.
Look, he had a really good partnership with Suarez and Messi, has to be said. Remember last season when we were there, maybe he wasn't scoring as many goals as those two, but he was certainly setting up plenty.
Chance to break through here, and the lob didn't come off. Makawa denying Alenia.
Keep it simple. Could have done just about everything. Credit to the goalkeepers to read that and anticipate that. Didn't go down too early. Didn't make it easier for Carlos Alenia on that one. But, you know, those are those little opportunities.
Kobe at home right now to Iniesta, Villa, Samper, all Barcelona long-time players. In Samper's case, in Villa, Iniesta's case, legends. Barcelona concluding their run in Japan after 2-1 loss to Chelsea. Their opener, and a lead here up in the 59th minute. Carles Perez scoring for Barcelona, the separator, with a little over a quarter an hour to go in Kobe, Japan. Away a bit from Jaime. Next Saturday, August 3rd, the World Cup winners return home to the Rose Bowl. U.S. women's national team take on Republic of Ireland. 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 and streaming live on the ESPN app. Of course, the NWSL continues tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern. Utah Royals FC, North Carolina Courage. All brought down by Dembele.